Yes, people. What is happening? Welcome to Saeed TV, and we're back with our show. We're with the Mandem in the building. Usually we film this on a Thursday, people, but you know what? I've got something patterned up for tomorrow, so you know what? I asked the Mandem, can we move it over? And you know what it is, man? We had to do it before them, man. So big up to everybody's locked in. You know what to do, man. Hit the like video, man. This is going to be a positive video, man, because the Murtough Madness crew have told me to be positive. They said to me, take out your pride and be positive. But listen, we're going to chat to the man then. Mussa, what are you telling them? You good?
I'm in the building. What's happening? What's up? How's you, man?
Yeah, not too bad, man. I'm not too bad, man. Tyrone, what are you telling me, bro? You good?
We're here, man. Big up Mussa every single time. Big up Saeed. Make sure you like the video, subscribing. And obviously, Trafford Tunnel, never a foul below. The link's there, so you can subscribe to our channels if you want as well. But yeah, I'm happy to do this, man. When you shouted me yesterday, I'm glad that we all could come in line and move it over, man. Easy fix.
Absolutely. Where you on this, Tyrone? Because we have to call you out, man. Are you part of the Murtough Madness? Let us know, man.
Listen. Do you know what? I'm going to big up Mussa, yeah? Because remember last week when me and Mussa were talking about basically people being a bit calm? I know Mussa wanted probably signings before, he said, but you know when Mussa and me were saying about people need to chill, yeah? And one thing I'm going to bring up, yeah, I have to do it, Saeed. Do you remember when I was talking about the budget and saying if we can get a few man cheaper, it might help us get other players? We've got De Jong cheaper. Look what's happened. Malacia with the extra 15 million. I'm happy, man. I can't lie. I'm not gonna say Murtough, like big up Baines, innit? Baines is
He's shameless, man.
Like he come on my show yesterday. I didn't even do an intro. He was running it. But do you know what? I've got to give him his props in it. Like all we can do when we read a book is judge the book we read. We watch the same movie. You might see it different to me. At the end of the day, he's gone to the De Jong deal. It's taken 4 weeks, 5 weeks. If he's got it cheaper and that's enabled us to get Malacia in, I'm for it, man, because, you know, we need players. We're rebuilding. We discussed it last week. And at the end of the day, is he going to be the be-all and end-all? Is he like the complete package? No, but at 22 years of age, 15 million, man, then we know it. It's low risk. If he flops, yeah, you resell him and you lose nothing. Daniel James come in, we flopped. We made profit on him because of his age. This is a smart, calculated move. We need depth. We need numbers. Malacia, I'm all over it, man. The left back Lamptey, trust me.
Absolutely. Just before I got your opinion on that, big up to everybody who's watching, man. Make sure you, again, like I said to you with Tyrone, make sure you follow his channels up. Link in the description, Trafford Tunnel, Never a Foul. And also make sure you follow Mussa, man. You know what I mean? Resell CIC on Instagram.
Yeah, I need to follow Mussa after this, actually. I'll make sure I get his team. Yeah, man.
Absolutely, man. Mussa, what you telling them, man? Malacia, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've heard of this kid. I think it's 22 from Feyenoord, left back, Dutch league. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's very raw at the minute, but are you excited, man? We've hijacked the deal from Feyenoord, who didn't wait, who were kind of almost slow to kind of putting the deal to bed, man. Looks like United have got this man. What are you thinking, bro?
I know Musa. I know. By the way, quickly, I know Musa's looking to smile. Look at him. I knew it. He was holding a smile.
I'm good to go with United. And I don't know about the Murtough stuff, but at the same time, like I heard about him earlier on in the window when it first, you know, what I'm saying when Ten Hag first came through, that he was one of the left backs that he was looking at. And again, I think because we've been starved of quality for so long, we just get excited about players coming in. But then when they come in, because we haven't had real coaches, then we start just see Tellers. See, when Tellers came in, I was gassed.
This is what I mean, you know.
I was gassed. I was like, Tellers. I saw videos. I saw him at Porto put like he was taking free kicks. Man was putting them top corner, everything. I was like, he's the man. He's come in, no system, social. All of a sudden, we're talking about we're selling Tellers now because we've got this new young buck. And we're keeping Shaw. Question I ask: why is Shaw always like transfer resistant? Why is he always like he just?
I don't know, man. That's a good question, you know.
That's a good question. Still,
why is Shaw? Why does he have to? Why not sell Shaw? Because for me, I'm thinking if we can get money for any of them, can't we get a bit of money for Shaw?
Do you know what? I think Mussa, you know, because that's a brilliant question. Because I know why people will probably say that in 12 months' time as well. I think what it is, is that. It's a bit like Martial, you know, because everyone knows I'm a big Martial fan, but I've got to keep it real. You know, with Shaw and Martial, you know that when they're on fire, like they're playing sick, you're like, yeah, these guys are good. But when they're not consistent enough, that's when people start getting on him. And I think what it is with Ten Hag and probably Martial and players like Shaw is that if, you know what I said with Rashford last week, like with Ten Hag, this is the coach that us three could probably say. We're looking at the videos already. I'm getting quite excited seeing him do the coaching drills, but he's probably the man that's going to get the best out of Shaw, out of Martial, out of Rashford. So I feel like, do you know what? If it doesn't work under this manager, then we all know that, you know what, it's probably time for these guys to move on. So I feel like because us man have all seen the best Shaw, that is better than the best Tellers, and that's why we keep it, especially 25 years of age.
I don't think we've seen the best Tellers though. That's one of my things. The Tellers that
I rate him though. Did you, Mussa? Honestly,
that's what I'm saying. The Tellers that I saw at Porto playing at a good level and in Champions League and that, he was a serious left back. Wasn't even captain over there.
Yeah, captain. I think he was captain. He was I think most goal scorer as well. I think he had. Listen, it's difficult. I think he's more of a wing back. I look at him more of a wing back, but I don't know if Ten Hag's going to do that. So if he doesn't help him in the system.
Ten Hag plays a high line though. He's not in all this sitting back. He plays that high line. So I'm thinking when he comes in and he sees Tellers and Shaw, he might see Tellers and say, you know what, this is the one for me. I don't know too much about Shaw and how, because the thing about Shaw is like, for me, he's a part of a group of players who I think have had their shot at United. You've had your shot at this red shirt. You've had your shot at proving yourself. You've been here for about 8 years.
Yeah, man.
And I'm
Facts,
like,
bro. It's time, man.
It's time for somebody else to come in. It's time for, even is it Alvarez, the left back that we got in the youth system, who had a good season last season. I'm like, where are all these, man? I see him training on the first day of pre-season on Monday. He was there doing his bits, and I'm thinking, what is he thinking? He had an excellent season last season. We've just bought a new left back. He's only 22.
Do you know what, Moose? That's funny you say that. I've heard today that Alvaro Fernandez could be going on loan, you know?
That's what I heard as well. Yeah, I got told that as well. Yeah.
So these players are just thinking, if they're gonna break through, when are they gonna do it? Because Ten Hag's the man that will bring in these youngsters. And again, I think man like Luke Shaw and that, for me, there's a couple of them that I'm selling, man. I think and a lot of them.
Do you know what? Yeah, because I think even bouncing off your question, because that was a sick question about Luke Shaw. If I go to you, man, and say, right, we tell his goals, 29, 30 years of age, World Cup year as well. You got to think he's gonna want to get into that squad because he's dropped now. You got Luke Shaw and Malacia, So Saeed, Malacia comes in, We've got Thursdays, Sundays, Europa League, Premier League. Do you think Malacia could come in, because Ten Hag likes him anyway, and be the actual starter? Like everyone's saying, like Luke Shaw and Malacia. But I think it could be Malacia starts.
I think Luke Shaw starts, but I think people will start to kind of. I think the pressure goes on Luke Shaw now, and he actually does well under pressure. Funny enough, when Tellez was doing well, he came back in. When Brandon Williams was doing well, he came back in. He does do well under pressure, but for me, I think it's time someone else showed him up, and I think you've got a Dutch manager now who believes in Dutch talent because we're linked with every Dutch player or every guy for the Dutch league. So I just feel like for me, this is almost a marriage waiting to happen. Like a left back that for me, Ten Hag wants, and Ten Hag has always been insistent on. Whether we can say we save money or not, I think if Ten Hag said go and get Malacia, and all of a sudden Man United go and get Malacia, we were in for Malacia. I get what you want to mean, the Murtough people and whatnot, that we have saved money, Tyrone, but we're in for Malacia regardless. Yeah. It wasn't a case of we jumped in and maybe hijacked the deal, but still, Man United were in for Malacia. Yeah. It's not a case of they weren't in for him.
It's not like we just heard of it. Like we did hear it a month ago. Yeah, I hear that.
We were in for him. But Leon stepped in, and then Man United were like, shit, right, we need to gather pace.
Do you know what, though? I didn't clock till yesterday. I didn't know they had the same agent, De Jong and Malacia.
And De Jong and Malacia,
that's where the links probably come in, like, right, okay, De Jong's basically done. Let's move on to Malacia. What do you think, Musa? Do you think Malacia could come in and just say, do you know what? I'm hungry, I'm determined, because I'm not going to lie, the clips I've seen of him, I actually think he is like a Lamptey, but in terms of more comfortable on the ball, I'd say. Do you think he could come in and shock us? And, do you think he could start straight away?
I think he can start, or Ten Hag will give a couple man enough rope to hang themselves early on. Because I think Ten Hag will play Luke Shaw and them man there, and when they're not pulling up no trees, they'll be like, you lot asked for this, I played him. We've scraped a couple games, but he's not. I don't think United can win games and you're just scraping through and you're still going to keep your position under Ten Hag. I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like there'll be, there's times where we win a game, but certain players have had a bad game, and you're like, what was he on? What is he doing? I think those men are not going to start.
It's more like the team saved you.
Yeah, the team saved you type of thing. I don't think that's going to happen. Like, if we're having those games where, like, Luke Shaw gave the ball a couple times away, or he was going, like, he was running up the wing, but he weren't putting it in. He was running back again and being scared. And then you've got this young buck in training who's actually doing the thing. I think he'll start. I think they'll bring him in, and I think he will. And he will, if not start, he will take over. So I'm happy with that. But again, with everything that's happened, we still ain't signed no one. Like,
no, Mussa, you can't say that. Be positive, man. This is the Murtough madness trade.
Listen, Man United are just the best. The Glaziers are just world class at what they do. Other teams, Spurs and everyone, I've got people holding up shirts. Yeah, we've signed this guy. We've just had deals agreed, and we're like,
no one's even there yet. It's so true.
This Marcelo guy, he was deal agreed with Leon last week.
Yeah.
And now he's coming to United. So I don't know, man. I need to hear guys have signed and they're Man United players. I just I'm not really because we're talking about.
Are you guys feeling confident though? Because remember this time last week we was actually sat in. I said, Saeed, imagine we come in next week. Remember I said it. I said, imagine.
Listen, I'm here for it.
And we signed 2 players. I said, literally, because remember the question was, am I annoyed? Am I frustrated? I said no. Remember I said I was patient because of what we had done in terms of the free transfers going, the hierarchy changing, and we could still get a few players in. We go on pre-season next Friday. If these 2 deals get done, potentially Eriksen should have made his mind up by then. We could have 3 players in by that time. Like, in terms of what you, man, were feeling last week, are you
I think for me,
more positive person?
No, of course. When you start to see players in, you're feeling positive. But my thing was, is that I thought there wasn't a plan from where we were. So last season, I'm judging everything basically, by the way, on last season's results and how we were bad last season. So I was like, what's going on? What's the hold up? Can we get things sorted out? My thing is just get it done. That's my thing. My kind of agenda isn't on Murtough because people are telling me there's going to be Murtough madness. So I'm like, I'm waiting for it, Tyrone. That's all I'm saying. I'm waiting for this Murtough madness to happen. And when it kicks in, then we'll see. And I'll reserve my judgment until the end. Until we do that, nobody's going to come on here and say to me, well, you should give Murtough credit and whatnot. Until he's done, until everything's done, until we get the targets, Tyrone, it's for me, it's so reasonable for me to kind of hold my judgment on the season. And I think for every fan,
I like it. I hear you.
You know what I mean? Because in the day, right now, we haven't got anyone. And also, the positions that we need, until we see that Murtough has done that and has delivered that, then we can only just wait and see and understand that this is a process.
Do you think you're putting yourself in that position of like, putting yourself in the hard man to please? Because like you said, you just said you're basing it off the years ago, and what's happened in the transfer window, which I get. That's all we can do. But don't you think in regards to Murtough, like if he does get these signings and he gets a couple more in, like what satisfies you to say, do you know what? Well done, Murtough, you've done your thing. Or are you going to be like, oh, like, and this is being real. Are you going to be like, if we signed 5 man, you're going to be like, well, that's his job anyway. Because that is what
I think there's part of it that is his job, but also there'll be part of it that we will say, you know what? He's identified his targets and you can give him credit for that. So unless that happens, unless we see that, everybody has to remain coy and everybody has to remain kind of hopeful. And by the way, there's no kind of negativity on it. We want Murtough to deliver the targets because if he doesn't deliver the targets, we don't be successful next season. So I want Murtough to deliver. But all this kind of like Statman Baines trying to say, give him the praise and this and that. It's almost as if people are kind of misconstruing that I'm negative about the transfer window. No, don't just heap on the positivity when reality nothing's happened yet. That's all I'm saying. And partly it is his job as a director of football to go and identify what has been brought. And by the way, Ten Hag is giving him a list, by the way. So he's not really identifying targets. He's actually being given a list and told to do it. So that's all I want to know, that I am positive. I'm not kind of like over positive, but I am positive that, you know what, Ten Hag has identified his targets and hopefully he will get them. That's all it is, Mussa. But it's kind of like Murtough madness. I'm not with the Murtough madness.
What about you, Mussa? Because if you look here, Mussa, you look at it, we've got De Jong, 56 million potentially pounds, by the way. For a top midfielder around the world, that we know. We look at other man, like Anthony, they're trying to quote us 70 million. This is the De Jong, a top 5, top 10 midfielder in the world. Would you give Murtough props if you see that, right? Man United would agree to deal 56 million plus add-ons.
No, because the question I asked, if we don't have Ten Hag, can we still get De Jong? Can Man United get De Jong with Pochettino?
It's a good question.
Can Murtough go in and do that deal without Ten Hag and bring in De Jong? Do we get Poch in the summer and we're still turning up with one of the best midfielders, like you said, top 10 in the world? It doesn't happen without Ten Hag. Half of these signings are Ten Hag's links. So this is why when Said's saying that he's been given a list, he's been given a list. It's like when you give your little brother a list, tell him go Tesco. You just want him to come back with the list. Come back with the list. If you don't come back with a list, there's problems. And if you do come back with a list, I gave you a list, bruv. I told you what to do.
I hear you. That's a good point. If Ten Hag's not here,
it's different when you have your own list and you give someone a list and then they spruce it up a bit. They say, you know what? I know you wanted McVitie's, but I've got some Kiplings here. You know what I'm saying?
And there's another question I've got as well. With this De Jong situation, Tyrone, I want to hear your perspective, yeah? When people are talking about the set fee was 100 million or whatever, and we've put it down to whatever price, right? What if I give you the premise that, that 100 million is actually, I don't know if it's false or not or whatever. What if I put that premise right now? I say to you that Man United and Barcelona had to come to a compromise. They had to come to a deal. And this is the deal that's been set. And Barcelona right now need the money. So Man United have to make the move. And also Barcelona have to make the move because they need the money. So there's another way of looking at it. But it seems to me that this the Murtough Madness crew are kind of saying, no, well, Murtough has done unbelievable negotiations. Yeah. When in reality, when you got to look at it as well, is Barcelona need to sell. They need to because they need the money. So all this kind of like madness over the top praise. Let's just look at the balance.
But it's also Ten Hag because yes, Barcelona need to sell. But if Man United did, a load of other clubs are not going in for De Jong because they know Ten Hag. They're just saying it's not worth it. PSG, even like City, and they're like, listen, that's his boy. We've heard that he's got it like on lock. He's gonna go and play for his manager if he leaves. Like if he leaves any other club because he doesn't feel like Barcelona have played him in his best position or have used him the best, he knows he wants to fulfill his potential. The only one else who can really do that to that level is going to be his old manager who helped him in the early stages anyways. So he knows Ten Hag is the place to be other than at Barcelona. So no one else. But if we had Poch, that's what I'm saying, and we didn't have Ten Hag and Barcelona was selling De Jong, I don't think he ends up at Man United. I think he ends up at Inter Milan. He ends up at so many different other clubs before it comes to us.
Even like a Chelsea, someone like that.
Yeah, not only is he 56 million, I hear that we're doing it in installments as well. So they're not getting it all at once. Even the 56 millions in installments.
What's your take on it? What's your take
on
what?
That? Like, I have to, and like, I'm not coming here saying I'm doing all Murtough prop because I'm mixing it. I know Baines is very pro it. I'm just kind of, I'm a deal by deal basis. The Malacia one, I can't lie. Like going in there,
that's a steal. That's a steal.
That's a steal because, like I said, low risk. With the De Jong one, how I've got to look at it, if we sat here 10 months ago and that man said we're gonna sign De Jong for 56 million, come on, man. Like I've got to keep it 100 of us, man. I'm buzzing, man. I can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not exactly, and I think what it is, right, is because what you said, Said, which is key. You see things that are drafted out in the media. Oh, Barcelona want 85 million. Then they want 100 million for this. You've seen it with Lewandowski right now. 1 minute is 30 million. Next minute is 75.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's
exactly.
Like, where is it coming from? So for me, I got to take that aside. And that's man, I got to say, right, what would we pay for De Jong? That's how I look at it. It's like when I judge a player. If I'm on here now and I've never watched a player, I'll say, do you know what? I haven't watched him, man, because I want to judge him. If we look at De Jong, like we said, a proper box-to-box midfielder, dominated the Real Madrid midfield, the Tottenham midfield, the Juve midfield, proven. Unbelievable. Like, we're talking about today's era where players are going for bonkers money. I'm sorry, but 56 million, I think, is cheap. And I get what you're going to say. You're going to say Barcelona need the money because they want to buy players, or they
I'm happy it's done. I think ultimately, my whole premise is that I'm happy it's done. That's the main overriding feeling. I'm happy we've got De Jong. I'm happy this, but I just don't like the way the narrative the Murtough Madness crew are putting it, and they're trying to make it.
So,
You know what I mean?
are you thinking basically, if you're like, if me playing devil's advocate, like that word we say, in terms of that the Murtough Madness people, do you think like Baines, for example, big up my guy Baines every time, but do you think it's easy to use this De Jong deal as the Murtough Madness hype because we all know that Barcelona need the money? You're in your head, you're waiting for another deal, like a Martinez deal where Ajax don't need the money. Say we see Ajax sell us Martinez for 35 million plus add-ons, then you'll be like, do you know what? Cool, I get it because that's a proper deal. But I
just want the whole targets to be met. I want next season so we're ready, because at the end of the day we bought in Ronaldo.
You and Mussa are waiting for a proper deal.
I want all the targets to be met, and I want like an ace card pulled out from nowhere where it's Murtough, and we're saying like I want to hear like Joe Felix last minute from nowhere. You know, Atletico Madrid want him gone. Murtough goes in and says, "Look, we couldn't get Nunez. Them lot's got Haaland. Joe Felix. How old is he still?
Yeah, that's
he's
22
years old. We're hyped about this left back that's 22. This is a 22-year-old who had us up in the Champions League last season. Still has the ability to win Ballon d'Or. He's not playing under the best type of manager. I want to hear that we've missed out on a striker. Murtough goes and puts that on a plate for Ten Hag, and he's turned up after all this. That's when I'll start saying this Murtough.
Do you think that can happen this season, or do you think this is?
I'm not sure that could happen this season.
And then next year we do that.
That's when I'll get gussed about Murtough. I'm not saying it can happen, but at Chelsea it would happen. At Man City and them other clubs, at Man United, we just know like it can't happen. But you see Chelsea, Chelsea will go and make 5-6 signings. They don't play those games. And they'll bring in quality signings. You'll be like, "Raw, where did all that come from?" So I'm saying that's why I can see and that get gassed about the people they got in charge and the type of players that they can bring in, because they do it all the time. Whereas us, we're just happy to get players in, and even like in terms of who we're really going in for, other than De Jong, it's not like who's proven.
Yeah, true. Ericsson, it's only Brentford we're competing with. You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
And then what? Malacia, Leon. Well, of course he's going to pick us. So really,
there's another player I want to talk about now in Lisandro Martinez. I want to just quickly shout out the super chat. Big up to Mighty Slimsy. Big up to you, bro. We've got big up guys. Facts all around. I feel the true judgment will be once the window closes. I'm not getting excited. Not yet. And that's all I ask for. And that's for me. Not even I ask for, because everybody's got their own judgment. But that's all my overriding feeling. But for people to say I'm negative and for people to call me out, I'm not. I'm just seeing this season after season after season where we get excited as fans and we've not really met our targets because we haven't got a CDM that we're looking for. And this Lisandro Martinez, Tyrone, is this almost a kind of a case of either he becomes one of the centre backs, or is he a versatile player? What are we going to do? Because we've got Tyrone Malacia at left back. Centre backs, we've got. There's a lot of centre backs that we've got right now. Okay, not the quite quality that we've got. Where does this fit right now in terms of where we're going now with with Lisandro Martinez? Where's he going to play? Where do you think you're going to play?
Yeah, do you know what? I want it, and I think this is the signing that screams versatility. I think when he can play left back, we rule that out because Malacia is likely to come. I think left centre back for me, and also defensive midfield. And I'm not going to say that he's going to play defensive midfield. If you gave me the option, I'm going to be real with you. I think he plays centre back, and the reason I probably say that is because we've tried this left centre back with Maguire and Varane, and they just don't look that composed or that comfortable on the ball, innit? And we're looking at Arsenal now, who are targeting him. They've got Gabriel, who's their main left centre back. He comes in there at Arsenal and he takes the ball comfortably, and that's what the Arteta is trying to build. You look at Man City, what is it, Laporte and Stones or Laporte and Diaz? They can both play with the ball at the back. That's what Arteta is trying to do with the Ben White thing. That's why he wants Martinez. Ten Hag, exactly the same. He likes his centre backs to play ball. The player that plays centre back for them now, Osman saw how good he was because he could play for us. Daily Blind. Man was passing the ball through the lines. Since he's gone, no one's done that for us. I see sideways and backwards. So for me, with Martinez, like, he's tenacious. Yeah, he's mobile. He can pass through the lines. I think we can play him as a left centre back because one thing what we need, in our centre backs, other than Maguire, let's be real, who is available 35 games of the season? Like, none of them. I know Lindelof has been available, but he's a pussy. I'm not sorry to say it on your stream side. He's a pussy. You get me? And Varane, I love him, but the first league, first time in the Prem, the knee injuries catching up with him. Maybe I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah, he's a bit suspect as well. Last season, it wasn't great.
To me, if you're gonna be a team, like Manchester United, where we've seen us win plenty of things, with the Vidic and Ferdinands, even the Johnny Evans giving 30 games a season. How does it start? You need a consistent base, man. The car don't move without the wheels. And if Martinez is gonna come in and play at centre back and be a solid fit next to a Varane, if he stays fit, then do you know what? I think you've got a good partnership, And what you got to do, Said, with me and centre backs, because I'm a really picky person in it. I don't like seeing two lumps together. For me, it's like, do they fit together? Ferdinand and Vidic, one was pacey, one read the game, the other one went in for it, was tenacious. With Martinez, he actually's got that bite in him, that South American sort of vibe, that bite. Then Varane can just do that sweeping job. So for me, centre back, but I would not hesitate to play him in DM. And the reason I say that is because he's got the natural instincts of being that defensive-minded player. All he's going to do is get the ball and free up De Jong, Van der Beek, and Fernandes. And that's what we need, man. So, do you know what? 45 million. Sorry, Arsenal. Let's hijack another one.
Yeah, we could do. That's what I'm saying. I hope we do hijack him because Arsenal in the mud again. We love to see it.
Are you having him over Pau Torres?
Listen,
you know what it is?
Sorry,
I trust Ten Hag. I trust Ten Hag's instincts, so I'm going to trust Ten Hag for some reason. Pau Torres,
why wasn't his first defender that he went for? Why was all this Timber hype at the beginning? Because Timber's
I think that was by United, apparently.
You know what it is? It's Pau Torres. We've got too many centre backs that are not aggressive enough. Lindelof and Maguire and Varane, they're not aggressive. They're like press resistant. They like to be the ones that sort of like get the second ball, if that makes sense. If we have another Pau Torres, he's basically a Lindelof on the left-hand side. I'll be honest, Musa, us man are getting bullied. I need someone now that's just giving us a bit of that.
When we played against him, he's looked good to me, man.
Well, do you think he's aggressive enough for you though? Say if he comes into the Prem and like he's a 6'4" defender and all he's doing is doing that jockeying business, not wanting to tackle.
You know what it is? It's like I'm trying to. There's two things I feel like with Man United, and I think this is where we've got caught up with the centre backs and the DMs. Is that because we were used to a certain style of play, we needed this hard tackling centre like CDM, who's just all he does is tackle and let someone run. When with Ajax, Man City, and all these other teams, it's not really that. We just someone who can intercept. Knows how to read the game, can be in a place at the right time, and can put in a tackle. And most midfielders tackle. That's what they. But most midfielders tackle. That's their game. But some of them just know how to read the game. So there's different types. There's Jorginho type of CDMs and a different type. Your Michael Carrick. And then again, when you look at your defenders, there's your defenders who love to defend because they love to read the game. They love to intercept. They love to make it look effortless and dirty, and they could also, at the same time, put a shift in when they want. Like people say, De Jong can't be a number 6. The brother played number 6 a lot. Like he's played it most of his career. And then again, I was watching a game the other day. I had to go back and watch him. Have you guys seen the game when he plays in the back 4 against PSG? He plays in the centre
back 4.
Go watch him when he plays as a centre back. Look for him. Centre back.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Champions League when De Jong goes in. Yeah, he had to go.
You're right.
Listen,
is it the PSG game where at Barcelona when they lost though? Was it at Barcelona, the new camp?
I'm not sure if they lost the game.
Because I'm struggling to understand that one.
Yeah, I just see him cleaning up. I'm just seeing.
Someone said 1-1 PSG. It was 1-1 PSG.
Yeah, go and watch the game when De Jong centre back. The way he's moving, he was clean.
But is he a 6 though? That's my thing. Is a 6 in the Barcelona league is a different 6 to what you can get in the Premier League. That's my own opinion.
And but people class 6 there's either a lot, and do you know what the difference is? It's either you're a lone 6 or you're a pivot 6. If you're a pivot 6, you've got someone like so at Ajax, he had that Lasse Schoen guy next to him, just doing the tidy work and all that, and he could do that. At Barcelona, if you're doing that Busquets role, you're expected to control the game, do it all. Like Jorginho at Chelsea, he plays as the lone 6. Like
that's what I'm saying. But a lot of Dutch journalists are saying he's a Busquets, and that's why it didn't work because Busquets is playing in his position. And when I watch him, he's the first man to take the ball off the defenders. That's his thing. So if he's the first man to take the ball, where else is he going to play? And that's why he's not happy because Busquets at Barca is the first man to get the ball off there. That's his thing. All he wants is another man who's clever enough to know when I go, you're gonna hold. But
you come in.
You come in. But I want to be there. But when I do go, this is why I think, as much as people are underestimating it, I think Donny van der Beek and De Jong in the middle of the park can do bits that we're just not expecting. And I really do, because I think
you're right. You know
I hope so, man.
Because when they sold Donny's last season at Ajax was a 6 because De Jong was gone. He had to play his position. If you watch Donny at Everton, the last couple games or the games that he did play, he played well in the middle of the park, and he done a lot of the tackling, winning the balls. Even when you look at his stats for us when he played, he like most balls recovered, tackles. Like, he does his job. But what I'm saying is, are we going to go and turn over City? Maybe not. Are we going to go and turn over? But what I'm saying is, can we go and hold possession at Crystal Palace and turn them over if we're playing
this comes out to the system. Kaha saying here, I don't think you watch. My thing is, his the style at Barcelona. All I'm trying to say to you, style at Barcelona won't be the same style as what it will be at Man United. It'll be too You'll get teams pressing you. You'll get teams harrying you. It's smaller pitches. The style, the kind of almost philosophy of football is they play out from the back. Not many teams in the Premier League play out from the back. You know what I mean? And also, if they do that, teams are more kind of inclined to press them more. At Barcelona, at Spanish League, there's a very calm approach. It's not kind of like, 100 miles an hour football.
Not heavy metal
you know what I mean? In the Premier League, you won't get that chance to have a turn or whatnot. So in a double pivot, I would be more comfortable with De Jong in more of a pivot.
You know what it is though? Because we haven't had midfielders who are press resistant. We haven't had it. We've just been seeing
Fred and McTominay
and they're just collapsing. So I've been watching De Jong where he's getting the ball off the back four and they've pressed him and he's just done a madness and got out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Donny is the same. So my thing, in possession is not the problem. The problem we're saying with these type of men is out of possession. So the question we got to ask, out of possession, what is the job the manager's going to be doing for us to defend as a unit? Because at United, we haven't been defending as a unit. So then all the flaws, and that's one of the worst things that Solskjaer done. Solskjaer expose people's flaws. So like where top managers will kind of like mask your flaws by playing in a system where you don't see it, like Klopp. Certain man like Milner and that are out of the game, he plays in systems that mask their flaws. So you're hot, like they kind of limit the opportunities and chances you're going to be in a situation you're not good at by the way we press and the way we defend as a team. So they limit it. Whereas Solskjaer, they don't limit it. It's every minute you're not good at one-on-one defending, but every minute you're on a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying?
Mussa, you know what? Yeah, like, sorry to cut you off. I'm so glad you said that. What you just said there is one of the realest things I've heard this year, Solskjaer, and as much as I did like Solskjaer for what he done in like obviously that season when we scored loads of goals, but he exposed the flaws, and that is probably a blessing in the long run. But bro, you're bang on,
And when you've got a manager that does that, you can't win because it's like Bruno. Bruno's a wonderful player in the right system. But when you put him in a system where you've told him he can do anything he wants and he's running around, you're just going to expose the things that he's not good at.
And that's what they did, lack of accountability.
Lack of accountability.
And then as a fan base, we're going to, because remember what Pep does. Pep doesn't expose his players, He puts in systems. And that's why when they don't perform to what he's told them, he'll just drag them off. He's not in it. Because he's there.
Do you reckon we're looking at this CDM? I'm not sure if Man United are actively looking for CDM because I did say to you, Tyrone, we have got McTominay and Fred. You know what I mean? I know we've got a long season. They have to be used.
Listen, you've got a manager who has 2 players that he's played as 6s in his career. Like Ten Hag has played Donny and has played De Jong in the 6s role. He's done it already.
It feels good to be true. That's what I'm saying. It feels
over a season.
But for me, it's like, because I think Mussa said, even with the Ollie thing, I think what you got to do if Ten Hag comes in now, we've got McTominay and Fred, and we know they're both going to stay. I don't think he's going to sign Eriksen, De Jong, and then get another midfielder in because Van der Beek is back. I think personally, if we are going to look to get the best out of this midfield, we've got to try and do the best with what we've got. And with that, for me, it would be a pivot of Fred and De Jong. I think Fred, like, as much as he does get his criticism, I personally feel like if you're going to try and get the best out of both, I feel like Fred can do that. And it's like what Mussa said, like, Fred's not the best, and you got look. And this I'm gonna just like flip it, and I agree with what Musa's saying because what De Jong said he likes to be the first to get the ball off the back four. Musa already said these men are not. These men can't handle the press, and we know that with Fred and McTominay. So De Jong can get the ball, twist and turn and wiggle out of pressure. He can then do can then do what he's good at. De Jong, we all know. I'll pull it up there now. He is top 5 in the world. Yeah. De Jong is top 5 ball carriers, midfielders in the world.
I know. One of the best in the world. Yeah.
Bro, I know you man are scared of Donny. Go on. I know you man are scared of Donny. But you see, when you say Fred, from what we saw last season, what can McTominay and Fred do that we believe Donny can't?
Yeah.
Now, for me, do you know what it's about? It's about what you. So, if you hear me out quickly, yeah. So you'll get the transition where De Jong gets the ball, turns and beats the midfield press. He's then ball carrying with it. We know that he's going to travel up the pitch 20, 30 yards. Brilliant. You said you then need someone that's going to come in intelligently and just fill that void. For me, in terms of ball recoveries, yeah, and I know people are going to say he's not an N'Golo Kante, but for me, Fred's our type of N'Golo Kante because he's tenacious, he's quick around the pitch, he's like a pit bull, innit? Out of all our midfielders that are like 6 foot plus and so forth, Fred's always the one that in them big games, he wins the ball back. Like he's just there. So for me, if you're then getting De Jong in his strengths of ball carrying and you need someone to fill in, Fred's that type of guy because he can get about. He can quickly cover the gaps if we do lose the turnover. Imagine McTominay coming in there and he's just running around labored. Like for me, it doesn't match up. So if we are going to keep him, yeah, I do believe that Fred and De Jong could be the pivot or the pair that work. And then you have a Van der Beek, Fernandes, whoever that comes in. And Musa, I'm not ruling out, by the way, the De Jong, Van der Beek pivot. I would just play that in games where you said Crystal Palaces or you're full of
where you think you're going to have possession. Yeah.
You know what I want to tell you guys? When I've looked at the stats between Fred and Donny when he's played, Donny has more ball recoveries, more tackles won, more duels won. And I just think that I'm a Fred guy. I like Fred. But when I've seen the stats in terms of what's really happened, I just don't think there's another better player that De Jong can get the ball off the defense, move forward with it, than to have Donny next to him who's clever enough to stay back, tackle, release the ball, move it forward. Because what I've seen from Ten Hag's system, he likes 2 midfielders that can actually play. The thing about Fred, even though I like him a lot, is that he will win you the ball back, but then he will lose it straight away.
But that's what you got to do. Win the ball back and give it. And Musa, don't you think, okay, when you look at De Jong, yeah, I know he can play there, but where did De Jong excel in the Champions League? Every game was arriving late into the box and scoring goals. But then we're going to have him back as number 6. For me, you have the Fred, De Jong, and Van der Beek, and then you're allowing everyone to obviously try and excel at mostly as what they can at their best. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we haven't got the holding midfielder.
And it depends what formation we do as well. That's another issue. Big up to Joey Lopez. He says,
by the way.
Yeah, big up to everybody watching, man. Nearly 700 of you watching. Make sure, guys, to like the video, people. I know we always bang on about it, but it helps the channel massively. The algorithms
subscribe, everything, man.
Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Never Foul, Trafford Tunnel. Links in the description as well for that one. Make sure you follow Mussa, Reso, CIC, man. But Joey says here, get ready to see Donny van der Beek and Frenkie de Jong in a double pivot. They've done it before at Ajax, both interchanging, will retain possession easily. Frenkie de Jong, Eriksen and Donny van der Beek. Yeah, would that work? Would that work for you? Like, this is the thing. It's a situation of if Ten Hag is bold, he would do that. But then again, you've got Bruno Fernandes decided to do a contract. Is there a pressure to play him? It also depends on where the manager. If he's told we have to play certain players, McTominay, Maguire, and Bruno Fernandes. They're the 3 key positions that Ten Hag has to tackle Tyrone. If he's allowed that flexibility. And if he's allowed full control, which other 3 managers, and you maybe even call it Mourinho, like didn't really have that kind of control, maybe, because there's always kind of feeling the hierarchy that certain players were kind of it's the DNA and it's the kind of we want to see them in the squad. Where are you on that one, Tyrone? In terms of
you know what it is? Yeah, like if and it's a great point. At the end of the day, Ten Hag's going to be tested, and the quick way he's going to be tested is already what we said. Next week, all the players come back. So the first thing is going to be the captaincy. Who is the captain? One of the 3 players you just named, Harry Maguire. That's going to be the first test. In terms of the second one, when it comes to players and ability, we've now got a coach. We've got a proper coach. I'm not even trying to get excited, man, but when I've seen these 6-minute videos of Man United's app, I'm smiling, innit? I've missed it, innit? I've missed it.
Of course, man.
You get me? Like, I'm actually seeing, man, like, stop a drill when it's not going right. I've missed that. I need that. But in terms of Ten Hag, what have we seen from Murtough? Them man are saying we're changing the approach, we're changing our recruitment team, we're changing the way we're getting a manager, we're going to back him. It's going to be a process. You can't say all these things, and this is where I would come for the club if they don't do this. You can't say all these things, and then all of a sudden play players because you've been told to, or play players because they're on these contracts. At the end of the day, if Manchester United are saying that they're revamping, then that means you pick the best players for this team possible. I don't care where you're from. I don't care, black, Asian, Chinese, white, Indian, whatever you are. The best players play for Manchester United. And I think in pre-season, we'll find out that McTominay and Maguire are not good enough. And if they do start, I would love to come on the show when we debate on Thursdays, because I will be mind blown. Because Osman will be sitting here thinking the same thing. How are they starting? The only way they can start is if Ten Hag turns these man into a demon. Can I see it? No. Will he turn other man into demons? Yes. But the only thing that I can say is they start is because all of a sudden Ten Hag's turned him into a monster. And I don't believe they have the ability to be monsters. They can't play for me, man. They're not good enough for this club.
Yeah, you know, Musa, George Azir, Van der Beek played more games and more important roles in the 10 role.
Yeah, see?
Easier games he played in the double.
Yeah, I know he says that, but his last season at Ajax, he played as a 6. There was no. That's just facts. The whole season he played as a 6. Wherever they're important.
Do you know what? It's good, Musa. Do you know it's a good problem to have, because at least
flexibility
we've got a midfielder that can play both. Yeah, we're sitting here debating it, but the good thing is, me and Musa and Said, we could say, do you know what? If he plays 6, if he plays 10, is he better than what we've got? Yes.
100%.
Exactly.
And that's how I see it. Because I just think to myself, I've saw a whole season of Fred and McTominay. I've seen that. So I'm not giving that a chance. I don't care if I'm not having no Fred and De Jong, McTominay and De Jong. I'm not having them. You had your whole season. None of you stood out where the fans can say, yeah, we're with you like that. So now I know Donny's done it. He's played it. I just want to see it. If it doesn't work, we're not winning the Premiership. We know that.
True.
So if it doesn't work, then we can say to ourselves, you know what? It worked in some games. It didn't work in the big games. We know what we need to do in January, or we know what we need to do in the summer. But it's just going to be that. I'm just saying, a midfield of Donny and Van der Beek is much better than McTominay and Fred. That's what I believe.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's believe that.
You're not wrong.
Let's believe that.
You're not wrong.
So I'm saying we can't just we can't be too picky. I'd rather have Gardner in there with De Jong before I have them two. They're like, you see what it is? Some people have had their chances. They've had their chance. And now they got to allow other people to do their thing and move forward. And another thing is, I'm just thinking of systems. If we play a 4-3-3 and De Jong wants to stay behind, as he keeps on saying, he wants to be picking off the ball, he wants to play the Busquets role, then he's going to have Van der Beek and like Bruno in front of him, or it's going to be Eriksen and Bruno in front of him. So, and again, when you look at the way Ten Hag plays, sometimes the 6 will fall back into defense, and then there'll be a ball playing carry.
Yeah, De Jong sometimes fits in like a centre. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he'll go back as a centre back. So then when he
like
goes
Michael
back,
Carrick, innit? Michael Carrick.
So when he goes back, is it gonna be Martinez who might step up and go into midfield because he can play that and then play a ball?
Would 2 8s be the best thing for now to do? 2 8s, 2 roaming 8s. You see how Man City do it with De Bruyne and who else is the other one? Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo.
Yeah.
Do you not think that's the most effective now system in the league now? Especially when you're looking at Liverpool. Fabinho, and they have Thiago, and who's the other one that they have sometimes?
They have either Fabinho, Thiago, and Naby Keita. Yeah. Do you know what it's like? I don't think it's that. Now, I think it's actually you do what's best for the team. If you look at Naby Keita, him having a Roman role and Thiago having a Roman role with Fabinho there, they know that they can trust that person who's a natural 6 to do that. You just said Man City. Go to Man City. You just said even there. Rodri. You look at Rodri, that guy is calm, can take the ball on the back. He's physical as well. He can hold it down alone. And
I know this story. There's this myth.
We haven't got that.
Yeah, but there's this myth as well that De Jong's not physical. I'm thinking, did man watch him against Real Madrid?
Nah, physical, but I don't want him just being that lone guy there. Like, I feel like if De Jong plays 6, it's more in a pivot than a lone thing. because I don't.
I'm with you. I'm with you,
Yeah.
Tyrone. Maybe Musa. I think you're maybe kind of like you believe in his qualities on the ball, and you think that you know what that's
I'm
going
on
to
a
work.
Michael Carrick team because Michael Carrick used to
Yeah,
arrive
true.
late. He used to arrive late. He used to be. How many times did we see Michael Carrick playing the 6 on his own and arriving late in the box? Do you know why?
I don't think De Jong. I don't think De Jong's a 6 like Carrick. Carrick's like that calm, just dictating play Jorginho vibes. I don't think De Jong's that guy. De Jong wants to run with. De Jong wants to run with the ball though.
Yeah,
I'm with you, but have you seen his outside of the foot from his own defense?
I hear that. Oh, but they got to be techie with it. I hear it, Musa.
Yeah, have you seen the type of play?
Run, like, imagine we turn up to the Etihad and we have De Jong as a long 6. Now,
no, this is
what
what
I mean. I don't know, man.
You know what's important? You know, I'll be shook under Oli, under all of these, man. But for me, I'm all about systems. De Jong needs a number 8. He needs a number 8 that is box to box. Yeah, and that's intelligent enough.
Vital, man.
That's why I said that's intelligent enough. When he does step forward, all he's asking is not for you to play 6 all game. He's just going to say, there's about 4 or 5 times in this game, I want to go up. And I need someone who's tenacious, can tackle, and can hold me down. And that's what Donny's going to do.
You're saying that Donny's, that perfect fit.
Yeah.
Well, he plays for Man United, so let's hope.
Preseason is going to be so interesting because this isn't a preseason, right? Yeah, like this reminds me of Van Gaal preseason. Do you remember when we all like?
I know, man.
Man had Kagawa at number 6, Ashley Young at wing back. I was like, what's going on? We won every game. Like,
I remember that game, man. I remember them games, man.
Remember, it was mad, and everyone was like, what's going on? And I feel like
Nani was at wing back. It was all mad,
bro. It's mad, and I feel like this preseason is giving me that excitement because all these things we're talking about. It's not like we're going into this preseason, right, where we've won the league. Or we're just coming in the top 4. We know what our squad's about, and we're like trialing people. This is Ten Hag saying, right, I need to know who's ready for this first game against Brighton. It's not like he's just trying it for the sake of it. They're trying with a purpose. So if us man watch that first game against Melbourne and we see De Jong playing in a 6 role, say for example, if he's here and he's playing 6, he's trialing him in a 6 for a reason. He's not just saying, "Oh, De Jong, let's give you a little debut and just say hi to the fans." No, he's saying, right, let's see what you can do. If the next game we see Van der Beek in the 6, he's trying it to see which way works. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is why I'm excited because we've got midfielders that can play in different positions. And I am excited to see it, man. We just need to get these deals done, like Musa said.
Yeah,
enough
is what I mean, man. How much signings do you actually think we need? Because I've said we'll get 3, but I think we need about, I'd say, a minimum of 5-6 signings. If we
5,
can.
I think 5 is a good window, Like, I've got to put context in. Obviously, big up everyone. If you watched last week, obviously, make sure you're liking video, subscribing, chat the tunnel, never a foul below, people. And this video here, I don't know, get it to 500 likes, 1,000 likes. But, 100%. Big up, man. But what I've got to say is that you've got to be realistic, Saeed. Like, we know that Ragnick coming and said we got to make 10 signings. The truth is, we probably need 8 signings as a whole, right? At least to be like properly like, okay, we've got a proper squad. But if Murtough comes in and gets De Jong, we get Ericsson, we get Malacia, that's 3, and then we get a Martinez and a winger. Like, how can we sit here and say that's not a great window? Like,
what about
barring maybe the DM, which Martinez can play, you could basically say we've got a lot of the bases covered. Does that improve us in every position? Yes, it does. So I'll be intrigued. And do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say it right now so I remember, because we haven't signed anyone right now. Musa Saeed, if we do sign 5 players, I would be very intrigued to see what the comments and how people feel if we do a show when we signed all them players potentially.
I think it'll be positive mood. I think it'll be positive. I think generally.
How can you critique that?
No, you can't. I think for me, I think what's critical is the CDM and the centre-back option. Because I feel like for me, the way Ten Hag wants to play in centre-back, to be aggressive, to be on the front foot, it almost like every good team buys a good centre-back. When you're looking at Liverpool, they bought Van Dijk. He sets the tone. Guardiola gets Diaz, Laporte. He sets the tone from the back to play a more positive approach. Then you look at the DM option, Rodri and Fabinho. They have been very, very integral to the way a team plays, and also their confidence in the way they play. If you don't then get a CDM and you don't get that centre back, there isn't the same level of confidence and maybe not the same level of arrogance. Because then now you can be a bit more
Martinez is that guy then that he signs just because, say we don't get a proper DM yet, and it is Martinez that comes in. We know he can play both. Do you count that as a signing of a CDM,
No.
or do you just say no, centre back?
No, centre back. That's centre back.
hear
I
that.
get
What
he can
about
play
you,
in that position. But I'd rather Man United get an out and out CDM. If you said like someone like Sangare or I don't know, people and someone else, I think then it gives people, because at the end of the day, this is about having the best preparation for the season ahead. Because you got to remember, other teams are doing business as well. They're going to be stronger. So if you need to capitalize on that, you must do that as a football club. You must prepare yourself well so that when later on, when they ask a question, did you want a CDM in the summer? Because we heard it from Mourinho. We heard it from some other players that, even Ragnick, when he wanted a midfielder in. We heard it from every manager. Oh, I could have done with that one player. I could have done with that player. You see what I'm trying to say? So I wouldn't want to know that what if. So I think for me, go and get the CDM and centre back. I think the right wing option is something that we should explore as well. But I think for me, if you can make 6, why not make 6? If you can make 5, okay, let's build on from it. I think I'm still positive about the season. I'm more positive, first and foremost, that we've got Eric Ten Hag as manager, first of all, because the shit players that we have might turn into decent, okay, good players in a system. So I think that's the most key thing we should do. What about if Ten Hag doesn't want a DM? Well, listen, I think every fan has a right to say that we need a DM based on the fact that maybe later on down the season when we're struggling or we see that the physicality, De Jong, the physicality, the Premier League is not used to it, then we've got a DM that we can say, right, now we can maybe play a bit more further forward. Do you see what my point is? Not everything's going to be rosy. You know what I mean? When you come,
what's nuts for me is that
you're going to need options.
For me, I'll be more worried if Frenkie de Jong said, no, I'm not a DM. I'll be worried. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't play in 6. I like to play. Players come out and say, no, I like to be further up. We've had Pogba say that I'm a 10, I'm this. But when a man comes out and says, I like to be the furthest back, that's what I want to do, then we come as a fan base and say, no, you don't need to be there. Something's not adding up. He's coming out and saying, he's away at international, and he say, right, why does it work over there? Because here I play as a DM. Here, I'm the furthest back. And at Barca, they're not doing that. He's sending little shots. So if he's telling us that, and we're saying we've been crying out for a player who can get the ball off the defense and start the attack and do his job, now we've got one. Then we had Donny last year, like I said, he was online. I think he went on a podcast and he was saying that he plays a 6. He's been playing it his whole career. He understands the role. So all I'm saying is my expectations are low. We're not winning the league. We just want to find ourselves, play a system, play away. Let's let these men try a thing, because like someone said in the comments, if it works for Man United, we're going to see it in the World Cup for Holland. If it works for Man United, we'll be seeing it in the World Cup for Holland. So I'm just saying, let's try a thing. We can't lose, because what options do we have, man, then? Flipping Fred and McTominay.
It's true. Let me ask you a question. You know, Tyrone, you got a question here. We don't necessarily need DM because we'll keep the ball and our team shape will be better. So by default, we won't concede as much. But then you've also got to, also prepare for, the worst. And I think for me, I'm not trying to say Ten Hag should bring it. I'm just speaking as a fan point of view. I think we need a DM because most successful teams have that. Most successful teams have a solid base. And we don't have, at this football club right now, Tyrone, we don't have a natural CDM. Every other team you could say in the Premier League or in the top 6, whatever you want to call it, have natural CDMs. That's all it is. That's just my kind of feeling.
That is my biggest gripe, and I've always said it. Like Michael Carrick, we all know it. He's the most underrated player, probably one of my most favorite players at the club. I just need someone that can get on the ball, control a game, can comfortably receive it from the back 4. Doesn't have to be a great tackler because we know Carrick wasn't a tackler. Like Mussa said or Saïd said earlier, it's about intercepting, being smart positionally. I just want someone that I can just go in there and every week when I see that starting 11, I'm not thinking who's the centre mid. Like when I was watching the team last year, every time I was watching it, I was like, my heart was racing going through every position. I know that this year, every time we have a starting 11, I am looking at who's the pair in midfield. That is what I'm going to be looking at. And for me, I exactly in it. Do you know what I mean? And
I agree with you.
Exactly, and I want the defensive midfielder. The only thing that I can come back and say, and I know Bainesy, obviously you and Bainesy have a little tiffs in that, but what Bainesy is saying in terms of if Ten Hag doesn't want a DM, then that's not his fault. And I think Ten Hag will find out the harsh way throughout the season that, do you know what? Whoa, I should have got one. But then that's not Murtough's fault or anyone else's. That's Ten Hag saying, do you know what? I'm going to stick with what I've got. But we won't know that yet. But for me, we need a control.
When Rodri's injured and Fabinho's out the game at Man City, how does Gundogan run that DM? Because I've seen him run it for about 4 or 5 games straight. How does he do it?
He's got this, and you know what?
Intelligence.
I'm saying he's a short player, similar physique to Donny or someone other than that. I just feel like I get what the man them saying, but at the same time, I just feel like for me, I'm more concerned because Man City and them type of teams and even Ajax, they make their defenders defend on a one-on-one basis because they have a high line. So my thing is, we can't play with those type of people with Harry Maguire, bro. It's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going
to work.
Yeah, so for me, a defender is more important than this hard tackling number 6 to me. Because we need man who, when it's on and cracking and you've got Haaland on you, you're going to do your job. Not flipping Maguire. He's going to pull down De Jong. He's going to pull him down.
That's he's going to do what he done to Luke Shaw 5 times last season.
You see how he gets Pogba in the head. He's kicking, guys.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what's mad as well, yeah? As we're touching on the DM situation, what bothers me, and I get it, yeah. Manchester United are not in a position to chat to Man City right now, but we're talking about a DM and saying we want one, right? So the bottom line is, in my head, let's just put it out there. Imagine we don't get a DM, so we move on, we get one next summer, yeah? So we work with De Jong, we work with Fred, whoever it is. Let's put that to bed, yeah? When you look at Man City and what our rivals are doing, you look at Liverpool, yeah, but I'm going to use Man City as the perfect example. We're bigging up Rodri, right? And we're talking about Rodri. For me, should have been in the team of the year last season. Played brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Played brilliant. One of the key midfielders. I think he's really established himself now. We're talking about someone that we just said, yeah, should be in the team of the year. Just established himself at Man City. They want to win the Champions League. They want to defend the title. What do they go and do? Depth. Everyone forget they've just gone and signed 45 million Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, Phillips.
Now,
yeah, of course.
Where I want to come to this, yeah, exactly. And where I want to come to this is people could say Rodri, they don't need Calvin Phillips. The reason they've just signed Calvin Phillips is because what Mussa just said. When Rodri's not playing, Gundogan goes and fills in. What have Man City struggled with? When you look at Man City, yes, they play sick football. We love what they do. Europe, they've struggled in. And in some games in the Premier League, they struggle to break down.
Yeah, depth.
What would you, man, say was Rodri's weakness? Rodri's weakness for me is his long ball passing. He's brilliant at getting the ball back in and just playing it short and, positionally great. When Man City need that extra key, maybe a ball over the top or something different in Europe, they've now got Calvin Phillips, so they can do that.
Different dynamic. Different dynamic.
Different dynamic. And when you're a top team like Manchester City, Ferguson used to do it. We had Scholes and Carrick. What did he go and do in 2008? He goes and buys Anderson. Anderson wasn't the foolish article and the most brilliant player, but when he come in, he gave us something different. Bullied Gerrard, gave that tenacity. He was good on the ball, left-footed. When you look at Man City now, that's what Manchester United need to be like. In the positions we are building, Ten Hag needs 2 good players in each position if we want to get back to where we want to be. And the start of it could be obviously an example with the Malacia Shaw thing, but you're just looking at the DM. We've got none, and Man City have gone and got a second DM when their DM played the best season of his life there.
The overriding feeling. Yeah, go on.
One thing I'll say is that I think if there's going to be any season to break through at United, it's going to be Ten Hag's first season. And I feel like Ghana, them type of players, this is the time for them. Because I feel like next season, we're going to see where the flaws are, and we're going to be talking about we need to buy in that position. We're going to forget those players. So I think he could be looking at it like, I've got Donny, whether we like it or not, that's like a new signing. He hasn't played. Bro.
I agree.
Yeah. I've got Gardner, I'm getting Eriksen, and I'm getting De Jong. That's 4 players, where you can all agree are ballers. 2 that can do a bit of tackling and everything box to box, but these are ball playing. These are like Ten Hag type of players, ballers and then we've got the Fred and McTominay who are the last 2 who are put in that. But he's got 4 new players basically who can come in the middle of that park and play ball, and I think he needs to see them. He needs, and
that's probably why we don't sign a DM. You're right, Musa, because that's numbers, and then what you got to
change the culture in it.
You've got to try and get people off the books. We said about the centre backs last week. As I was saying, we still got Twan Zebi and like Phil Jones there. And like we still got to get them off.
I think for me, if you're changing the culture of the football club and you don't need a CDM to do that, you know what? I'm all for it. It's bold, it's brave, and you know what? I'm here for it. But the back of my mind, I'm very skeptical of not having that just natural midfielder there.
I think Osman will be here at December and be like,
you know what it does there as well.
There you go.
You know what it does though, man. Then it ups the levels. It's like Man City playing without a striker and still winning what they've won. That tells the striker when you come, if you can't even do better than us when we ain't got one, you're done at it. So I think it ups the levels because I think if 100%. we play ball with those ball type midfielders and we don't have that hard tackling CDM, it's going to be when you do come in, you can't just be a CDM who can only tackle. You got to be like Kante. You have to actually be able to play. You have to play the game. Like, see all this just all you're going to do is tackle and sit there. And I think Kante, don't overlook that move there because he's got 1 year left. If them man going for Declan Rice and that, I think don't overlook that Kante situation there because he's got 1 year left.
But you never know, we could be in for Kante as well. I'm sorry, not Kante, Declan Rice next year. We never know. But we'll see. Time will tell. But listen, we're going to have to wrap it up here, man. The hours flew by. Good conversation. Like I said to you, man, this is what we do, man. We just debate football, people. We're going to give you proper football chat, man. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Guys, before you leave the video, man, if you've enjoyed the video, smash a like up, man. We had over 700 throughout the whole show. So big up to everybody who's tuning in every day to kind of give it. This is all about opinions, people. Nobody's right and nobody's wrong. This is all about opinions, people. So big up to everybody. Tyrone, let them know where they can find. Obviously, link is in the description for both channels, but just let them know,
love that, man. Thank you as such. First of all, big up Mussa every single time. Love that. I'll make sure I follow you as well, Mussa. Saeed, thank you for having me. This show is going to go places and your channel's going places. So big up every single time. One of the real ones, man. So people like the video, like Saeed said, subscribe. And then for all my stuff down below, Trafford Tunnels for my Manchester United stuff. Bainesy's obviously on with me a lot. Saeed will be coming on over the season as well. So Trafford Tunnels for Man United. And then Never a Foul, which is our generic football content where we talk about all clubs. So if you just like generic football content, Never a Foul, subscribe. We just hit 3K and Trafford Tunnel there, man. So, yeah, man, this shows, I love it. And, big up for having me on and big up Mussa every single time as well, guys. Love that, Zanos. Oh, what a G.
Big up, man. There you go, people. That's his channel right there, man. So make sure you subscribe to him. Mussa, let them know, man. Resale CIC charity.
Yeah, Resale CIC, man. You know where you can find us. We're here trying to do that bit in the community for the less fortunate. We're here keeping busy, always doing what we can do. And other than that, you can catch me on here on Saga TV, and it's always a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I think these fan channels are important, man. All the work that you guys are doing on your fan channels, I think it's important, man, because it allows people to just have that time away. And I think it's important that we use even the work that we do. Sometimes we might overlook it, but I think it's just more than talking about football. You know what I mean? It's allowing people to have downtime and a lot of there's a lot of mental health and a lot of stressful situations for people. You know, these hours, it allows people to just forget about everything and just think other things other than their stressful lives. You know what I mean? So, as for me, I don't have a fan channel, but I appreciate watching you guys even when I'm not on it because
big up, man.
It's important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're a G, Mussa. I love that, man. Deep words there, bro. Man. True talk. And you know what? Last thing I want to say, I know it's your channel, say, but the guys in the comments, even that support, show love every time, like, you're just as important, man. So you guys keep supporting the shit that we're doing, man, because without you guys, me and Mussa and Saeed are chatting to ourselves as well. So
that's it. Exactly.
It's a family thing, man. It's a family thing. So big up, man, Mussa. Good words, man.
Absolutely. No, big up to everybody, man. Like I said to you, support everybody. Leave a like on the video. And tomorrow I'll be back, man. I got the Spanish guy who will let me know the ins and outs of the De Jong deal and whether it's coming. So that's why I had to just change the shows around today. So I could only get him on a Thursday. So tomorrow we've got an interview with a Spanish Barcelona fan who has a channel as well, and obviously do big things as well. So make sure you check that out. I think I had him on start of June. So
it's the last game. Listen, it's the last. Sorry, it's the last. It's the last pre-season game at Old Trafford.
Yeah, Raul Vallecano. I might touch down, you know. You might touch down.
Yeah.
Did I show you these boots?
Go on.
Did I show you, man, these boots? I got these boots. I need to get them signed though. Jadon Sancho's dad dropped them off at my mum's house the other day. I show you these boots.
Oh, swear down.
Hey, that's hard, man.
Jadon Sancho,
old school family people. He said he might hook me up. You might see me in Manchester more often this season.
Listen, man,
he's in a big season, but he's
make
gonna
sure we get that Sancho season rolling, man.
You need to be on there.
Get a
Come
little
on,
shirt in the
man.
background
Need to be
under the Jordans. Just a little Sancho shirt there. You're nice.
Yeah. We need to
Come
pattern.
on,
We
man.
need to do something. You know
South
what?
London,
I'm gonna
man.
try and see if we can get some signed shirts or something that we can do for our channels, auction them, whatever. we can do.
bro.
Giveaways.
When you're ready, man. We'll
I
sort it
think
out,
it's
man.
important
100%.
as well for, like you said, because without the viewers, who are we,
Yeah.
bro?
Absolutely. That's it,
Yeah,
man.
real
So you
talk,
guys
man.
do the show, man. So big up to everybody who's watching. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. Follow these guys and we're out. Take care.